Aaron was meeting his friend at a restaurant. He was unaware that he was in close contact with someone who has been infected with COVID-19. Meanwhile, inside Aaron's body, we could see the white blood cells fight off the virus. Hi there, sorry for the horrendous mess. It seems we have been invaded by a foreign pathogen. For your information though, this is what we immune cells usually do day by day. As a part of the immune system in the human body, let me welcome you to the battlefield and show you what has been going on around here. We as a part of the immunity are responsible to resist and eliminate a particular infection or toxin by the action of specific antibodies or sensitized white blood cells. We immune systems are divided into two, innate immunity and active immunity. Well, to be simple, innate immunity are the first line of defense. For example, physical barriers, defense mechanism, and general immune responses or inflammation response due to macrophages. These responses are usually non-specific and fast, which means that the macrophages have no mercy for those pathogens that passes through. Macrophages kill them by engulfing and digesting the pathogens, and they usually provide antigens after killing them, thus signaling healthy cells to activate B cells and T cells. But it seems the enemy somehow have passed through their radar. Well, it may be due to those tricky viruses are small in sizes, perhaps they may have slipped past the macrophages or overwhelming them. Well, no worries, I have received the SOS message of macrophages through the helper T cell. This is where adaptive immunity comes into the fray.
It seems you're a bit puzzled by how we do things here. It's okay, I seem to have some time to explain to you by how we do things around here. Generally, we are divided into two squads. The first one is cell-mediated immunity and the second one is humoral immunity. Cell-mediated immunity are responsible in eradicating infected cells. In other words, they kill the infected cells in the body. Let me introduce them to you. This is them: cytotoxic T cells, hyper T cells, and suppressor T cells. Cytotoxic T cells destroy virus-infected cells in the cell-mediated immunity response. Usually, they detect infected cells by the antigen-presenting cells that appears on the membrane, and from that, they produce perforin. And this perforin kills infected cells by apoptosis. This is helper T cells. It plays a part in activating both the antibody in humoral response, which is from a squad, the cyto T cells in cell-mediated immunity response, and also macrophages. Last but not least is suppressor T cells. They deactivate T cells and B cells when needed, and thus prevent the immune response from becoming too intense. And this is my squad. We are the humoral immune response team. Unlike the cell-mediated immunity unit over there, we are a team of B cells, and we're in charge of keeping the extracellular spaces of the body from invading pathogens and preventing them from infecting the healthy cells. Recently, we've been working overtime due to this new virus so-called SARS-CoV-19. But it's not a big deal. We don't usually get tired anyway. We will eradicate every last one of them. Let me show you how we do things here. First of all, we have to identify the weak spot. Do you know what I mean by weak spot? Here, take a good look of the enemy. Great eye, cadet, you guessed it. Usually, we identify pathogens due to antigens on them. Those antigens also triggers a response from us, B cells, and also cytotoxic T cells. Besides that, we can also be mediated by our friends, helper T cells. Once antigen is identified by B cell, we produce antibodies that binds to those antigens. These are antibodies and they are Y-shaped, and the tip here, aka parotop, is what binds them to the antigen's epitopes. Give it go, cadet. Make sure your aim is good. Yes, Great work! Now, once the antibody is binded to the antigen, they will immobilize those antigens and preventing them from reproducing and causing harm to the citizen of healthy cells in the body. There are different 5 types of antibodies, which are IgG, IgM, IgA, IgD, and IgE, and they differ in heavy chain structure.
It seems we are winning this fight. You might be wondering how we recognize these invaders, even though we never fought this new strain of viruses. Well, it's because of this new intel we got from our good friends, the vaccine. Meanwhile, 3 weeks prior to the invading COVID event, Aaron have just fully received 2 shots of vaccine. This is what we call as memory cells. It can be memory B cells and memory T cells. After eradicating invading pathogens, we remember the antigens and store the data in these memory cells. In the case of vaccine, well, vaccines are weakened pathogens containing antigens. It triggers the immune response, thus providing us instructions on how to defeat them. The intel that we received from the vaccine provide us the appropriate response to these new pathogens. So if they ever decided to come back, we know how to fight them. Thankfully, we received this intel from the vaccine. To be honest, I really don't know what we could do if we didn't receive any intel from the vaccine. Oh God! Who are these unknown viruses? How do we defeat them? We don't know how to kill them because we don't receive intel of the antigens. I hope this shows you how important vaccines are and how crucial they are for us immune system.
Phew! This new virus really can put a fight. I've never had this intense fight since the Black Death Plague event, even though we received the intel on how to fight them. However, after 6 months of receiving the vaccines, the immune system toward the virus efficacy will decline, and this will cause a great danger if this new virus is spreading, or even worse, mutate their structure, thus overwhelming us to eradicate them. Hopefully, we will receive the booster vaccines after 6 months of receiving the usual 2 doses of vaccines. With the boosters, it will help us know that the virus is still actively spreading and makes us even stronger to fight them. Well, comrade, I need to go fight off the remaining pathogens now. Pray for our victory and make sure to share my war story here, so we could educate those who are unaware of our presence. Together, we could fight off these new viruses. Goodbye, comrade!